what if there were no answer? What if there were no answer to what comes next? Or what if we were simply not meant to know what the answer is? What if there were a veteran who went to war and has come back and is dealing with what we deem to be mental illness, and who has decided to live under the eave of a building on the side of a street, and who is only known to his last family members and to the office workers who come and chat with him during their lunch breaks or to and from work? What if he's the one that knows the answer? What if he knows that the answer is really just building community and love right where you are? Our Muslim neighbors and community members who are observing Ramadan are fasting, praying, reflecting, and giving service to the community. Sometimes the introspection and the slowing down during the fast helps to bring clarity, not only to what is most important, but to everything that is easily taken for granted. There can be a realignment with one's core values that feels like a coming home. I think about this quote by Albert Schweitzer a lot. He said, "The path of awakening is not about becoming who you are, rather it is about unbecoming who you are not." For many of us, we find this to be true. We were raised with beliefs and values of our parents or the environment or our society at that time, and honestly, we could have been born anywhere, anytime. But we grow and we experience life outside of our immediate environment. We question what we know, what we thought we knew. And if we slow down just enough, we may begin to awaken to the need and the desire to realign our beliefs and values to something that resonates more deeply with what we feel to be true for us, or true today for us. An unbecoming, if you will, of who we are not. I find there's a deliciousness in age that gives me a wider perspective and awakens in me ways that humble me and call me to live more fully with integrity and kindness and love than when I was younger. I see with this wider perspective a reckoning, an awakening, not only in myself, but in society at large. And with this wider perspective, I'm able to digest the January 6th, the rollback of women's rights, the assaults on our queer and our Black and anyone who is other. With the 232 years in the making appointment of our first Black woman, Ketanji Brown Jackson, as Supreme Court judge this past week, unbecoming who we are not, who we do not want to be anymore. As many of you know, I'm fairly anti-organized religion. Stumbling upon this place, this community has added so much value and love to my life. I'm now part of something that 10 years ago, I could never have imagined for myself. And for sure, in the beginning, I felt pretty defiant. This is when you stand, this is when you sing, this is when we collect money from you. Oof. But I came, and I promised myself that I would give it a fair try, because the people that I met here were pretty amazing, all of you. And gosh, I'm so glad to see you all, too. Anyways, and I found that by coming each week, I found some respite that gave me nourishment for the upcoming week's journey, or salve for the difficulties and the hardness of the past week. Stewardship, especially the raising of funds, is not my favorite thing. It can be difficult to ask people to give money, but I'm going to take a bit of a wider perspective on it. I think that one of the things that this community has really taught and instilled in me is the idea of stewardship. What does it mean to be a steward? What is stewardship? Well, when we are young, things sort of happen magically. For example, a holiday. The family's there, there's lots of food, there's probably presents, and for the most part, you, as a child, are not responsible for making any of that happen. It just sort of magically manifests. One of the things that you learn as you grow is that there is no magic to it other than love and stewardship, the taking care of something. Someone or a few someones had to organize. Some people had to pay money for food, gifts, travel to get there. Some people spent time going to the store for food or for presents, cooking, wrapping, driving all the way there, flying there, taking time off work. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes that we don't really grasp until it's our turn to be the stewards. We come together as a community for love, for service, for spirituality, for growth, for our people, all of us together. We also know that all of this doesn't happen magically. We raise funds to help ourselves and those we want to support. We raise funds to fairly pay those who sing to us, those who provide worship for us, those who organize us, those who take care of our home here. We work on committees. We take the time to come here and to see one another. We organize events. We call on each other when there's time for support and there's time to celebrate. We educate ourselves, our children, and our communities. We side with love, and we do the work to make this happen. We are all stewards of our community, and we give in the ways that we can. But we give and we give because we know the only way to make all of this magic happen is if we all pitch in with our time, our service, our funds, and love. All of this is the work. This is the work we are doing now.
Well, I think we can all go home now. Thank you, Cassie. I am moved. Good morning, namaste, and salam alaikum. May you dwell in peace. And Ramadan Mubarak, which is may the blessings of Ramadan be with you in this sacred season. Our entire worship team, which is comprised of so many people behind the scenes and on the chancel, is delighted to be joining you in worship this service. I want to give a special shout out this morning to my beloved partner in this pulpit on Sunday mornings, the Reverend Dr. Kakanza Nuri Robbins, our recent guest worship leaders, Reverend Rick Hoyt and Rima Snyder, our extraordinary director of music, Sonder Choi, and our amazing choir section leaders, Chloe Vaught, Javon Haskin, Dorita Seth, and Carl Oser. And the many members of our church choir who I see here this morning, our incredibly talented church pianist, Ryan Humphrey, our tech ministry of Aubrey Sassoon, Mia Bringes, Liz Fuller and Pam Teplitz, our church greeters and ushers, membership committee members, and anyone else I may have forgotten, may I be forgiven. Let's give this extraordinary shared ministry team some love. Now, my name is the Reverend Jeremiah Lal Shabazz. Since it's Ramadan, I'm going to use my full name, Kalendae, and I have the great honor of serving this historic congregation as its developmental minister. I hear that we have 2 birthdays in the house today, or maybe one in the house and one somewhere else celebrating. And I want to wish a special birthday to Joanne Peters and also to Brian Oakes. And I hope he is somewhere having fun if I don't see him here. We begin our services with the lighting of our flaming chalice, the symbol of our free faith. In honor of the beginning of Ramadan, we light our chalice with these words from the Islamic tradition. The prophet said, "If you find the meadows of paradise, linger there." He was asked, "What are the meadows of paradise?" His reply was, "Gatherings in remembrance of the divine." May we gather this morning in the meadows of paradise, likewise remembering all that we hold to be sacred.
Allahumma salli, 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 Allahumma salli,
bringing it. All right. I see you. Welcome. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Community Church of Santa Monica. My name is Cassie Winters, and I am your worship associate for this morning. We are delighted to have all of you present. Look at you. Oh, with us in the sanctuary, and all of you who have come to join us in our online sanctuary. Whether you are coming from somewhere around in the LA Basin, somewhere in the United States, or far beyond, we are glad that you are here. If you are new to our community, please know that while our building is still in the process of reopening for larger church services and events, we are still here, meeting frequently online, and there are many ways to learn more about us and become involved. We offer programs to serve our congregation and to be of service to the wider world, including broad religious education and personal development of all ages. We join with other social justice advocates for community activism that contribute to the justice and harmony of our world. Unitarian Universalism is not defined by creed or dogma, but is guided by principles that affirm the worth and dignity of every person and encourages a search for individual truth and meaning. We honor the wonder and existence and believe that we are all connected to each other through the interdependent web of life. Our beliefs are drawn from scripture and science, nature and philosophy, personal experience, and ancient tradition. We are an open, affirming, welcoming congregation, diverse in backgrounds, spiritualities, identities, and philosophies of life. We are also a dedicated peace site. Whatever your beliefs or faith tradition, we invite you to build a community with us here together in our diversity so that we may covenant in love and justice. May you find comfort, camaraderie, and inspiration here. We are united in our desire to create an inclusive, beloved community and to live the principles of our faith and to serve the wider world. An important step on that journey is our acknowledgement that our church and the homes of most of our members are on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded lands of the Tongva people, who continue to live and care for this land as they've done for thousands of years. We recognize and mourn the often deadly harm inflicted on the indigenous people of this country. We lift up their grace, their resilience, and their relationship to this land. Okay, announcements are starting to get longer because, you're all here. Detailed announcements are published weekly in an email on Thursdays. You can sign up to get that. News is also available on our online newsletter. You can look at our website at UUSM.org as well. Find our website and check out all of our wonderful opportunities to explore interests, build community, and develop your spirituality. One of the key things happening this week is on Wednesday, April 13th from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. via Zoom, or on Sunday, May 1st from noon to 2 p.m. is the Bylaws Refreshed Town Hall. Did y'all know we have bylaws? One important task of our developmental ministry, thank you, Jeremiah, has been modernizing and refreshing our congregation's bylaws. A team of congressional leaders, chaired by our past president, Patricia Wright, has been working diligently with our developmental minister for the past year to study UUA recommendations and to draft refreshed bylaws. The Bylaws Refreshed Task Force is happy to announce that they have completed the first draft of their proposed bylaws, and they want to have your feedback. Please come to one of these meetings, provide your feedback. They'll share with you just how they came up with all of these new thoughts and ideas. Please email admin@uusm.org for Zoom information if that's how you'd like to attend. Encouraging acts of generosity and charity, we invite you to bring food from your pantry for the Westside Food Bank. We're back to doing that. Nice. Kids are welcome in the service or can hang out in the cottage where there are activities and snacks to accommodate all appetites and dietary needs. Wow. After the service, we will be practicing generosity by preparing food for the homeless neighbors from the people concerned. on a weekly basis. If you'd like to help, just go on over. There's also an awesome way to sign up to be on the Hunger Task Force. You just have to show up and then you're signed up. It's awesome. Thanks, Jackie. Apparently, we'll be beta testing coffee on the patio. I'm eager to see how this is going to work. Coffee and tea for those of you who prefer that. And please, please, please stop by the stewardship table and make your pledge for the upcoming year, and we'll donate $10 to the Westside Food Bank in your honor. Also, again, thanks to Jackie Weber. And we'll give you some special treats to kick off our annual pledge fund drive. We are glad you're here. Come, let us worship together.
Hi everyone, good morning. We invite you all to rise in body or in spirit and sing our opening hymn with us, Come, Come, Whoever You Are. We are going to sing it together once. I think we have projection now also. Thank you. And then we're going to sing it twice as a 4-part round. So follow along. The choir will be here to guide you.
You may have forgotten this part, but we used to stand during our covenant and our hymn of praise, and I miss that because, I like being told what to do. So please, join us in our covenant. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship, thus do we covenant with each other.
Please remain standing and we'll sing our hymn of praise together.
Welcome back, Ryan, because he plays it the way we like to sing it. I don't know if y'all remember last week, it was slow. Ooh, thank you. So the West Side Food Bank. As I said before, we are starting up our donations for the West Side Food Bank again. It looks like all of the children have found their way out to, most of the children have found their way out. But usually what we used to do is we would have the children go along and collect food from anybody who had it in the pews, and they would just bring it up to the basket that I forgot to put up there, and we would collect it right there. And then after that, they would, if they wanted to, if they're feeling a little brave, they would sit on the chancel, and we would do a story for all ages, and it was awesome. We're going to not do that part just yet. We're going to keep social distancing just a little, so you can return to your seat. If there's anybody that would like to bring some food, I don't know if you saw your Thursday announcement. There's a lot of emails, so, Okay, we'll move on. So the time for all ages. Good morning. Oh, where is Huey? Hi, Huey. Your favorite fan, I think, is out on the playground. Yeah, that's okay. I got you. Here we go. Welcome to the time for all ages. Have you ever thought about the seasons and how the earth interacts with the seasons? Sometimes when we think about the seasons, we think about the weather and the changes we see and we feel. We see snow, not often here in Los Angeles, but we see snow and rain and warm days. We learn how the earth and everything on it is connected and dependent on each other. We understand how rain falls and it helps things grow and live, including us. We understand how the sun helps things grow and live, including us. We understand that there are so many parts that have to work together to make the whole. Bees that spread pollen, birds that eat seeds and then drop them somewhere else for plants and trees to grow. And then the earth that holds those seeds until they are ready to bloom. Those seeds stay underground, under the snow, just getting ready, sort of sleeping, being protected by the earth. And when everything is just right, that little seed grows and awakens and reaches towards the light and blooms with energy and vibrance. And we tend to call that life. You might notice that sometimes you too will go through these cycles. And why not? You too are a part of the interdependent web of life. Sometimes you will be full of energy and growth and longing to get out there and explore. And there will be other times where you want to retreat and reflect. And like that little seed, saving energy under the snow, under the earth, and you don't necessarily feel like going out. And it's really important that you know that that's okay, and that's even necessary as a part of life. Because you too are tied to the earth, and you will go through your very own seasons, whatever that may look like for you. And all of it, the sleeping, the retreating, the saving energy, and the awakening and the blooming, is all a part of life, not just the showy blooming parts. And you will get to know yours and how yours interacts with the earth. For me, I'm a little like those seeds. I like to kind of hunker down in the winter. I like to keep warm and reflect on my journey. Then right about this time of year, the jasmine begins to bloom, and it pulls me out. That sweet scent in the evening just draws me out for long walks in the neighborhood, and the extra light encourages me to do more. And if you really think about it, we as a people have gone through a not-so-typical season of hunkering down during the pandemic. I know it didn't really feel like a natural flow of seasons, but it really was a part of all of the parts that are necessary for life. We were protected, just like the little seedling under the earth, and now the season is beginning to change. We're sort of like these pussy willows here. Pussy willows, they're my favorite. Pussy willows tend to be the first to bloom right at the beginning of spring when it's still cold. And so they come out with this warm, protective, fuzzy layer to help keep them in good health until it's really time to bloom. And that's kind of like what we're doing. We're blooming, but we're keeping a little bit of a protective layer, and we're beginning to reach up and reach out. And that's okay and necessary too. And I have to say that I just love seeing all of your blooming, beautiful faces.
Please join us in singing our Song of Blessing. This is 1071 on the Dusty Earth Drum.
Let us enter into our time for mindfulness and prayer and silent meditation together. You're invited to center yourself in whatever way is most comfortable to you, perhaps sitting with your feet firmly planted upon Mother Earth, your spine straight. You might want to allow your palms to face upward on your lap as a symbol of your openness of spirit and your receptivity. You could allow your eyes to gently close or remain open, but bring your attention inward. Allow your conscience to rest in your heart space and to move with the inward flow and outward flow of your breathing to create a spaciousness through your whole being. It's tradition for me to offer the dua of the Nur, or the prayer of light, at least once each church year, and I usually save it for a special time like Ramazan. This is one of the most important prayers in the Islamic tradition, and it can help one to achieve what some call a radically non-dual consciousness and a sense of oneness with all of being. You may want to listen quietly to this prayer as I recite it, or you may feel called to recite each verse silently after me. It's believed in this tradition that all things arise from the Nur, from the light, and this prayer is to summon one back to the light. This prayer will be followed by a few minutes of silent meditation, which will begin and end with the sounding of our singing bowl. Bismillah, Ir-Rahman, Ir-Rahim, in the name of the infinite compassion, in the name of the tender mercy. O Allah, place light in my heart and on my tongue, and in my ears light, and in my sight light, and above me light, and below me light, and to my right light, and to my left light, and before me light, and behind me light. Place in my soul light, magnify for me light, and amplify for me light. Make for me light and make me light. O Allah, grant me light, and place light in my nerves, and in my body light, and in my blood light, and in my hair light, and in my skin light. O Allah, make for me a light in my grave, and a light in my bones. Increase me in light, increase me in light, increase me in light. Grant me light upon light. It is good to be back. I missed all of you. The last time I saw you, I was 39, and I have now turned 40. It's good to be with you. So come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. We journey together in this caravan that formed long before any of us joined it, and that will continue, inshallah, long after we have taken our leaves from this life. These words, written 8 centuries ago by the Sultan of Love, Jalauddin Muhammad Rumi, invites one and all to the supreme path of love that's inherent to every religious tradition and also transcends all of them. This summons is one of the most popular Unitarian Universalist hymns, having been set to music by my colleague, the Reverend Lynn Unger, and blessed by Rumi's great-great-great-great-great-great-great-granddaughter at Star King School for the Ministry, our Unitarian Universalist seminary in Berkeley many years ago. If you were to visit Rumi's tomb in Konya, Turkey, you would find these words inscribed there, along with the additional verse, "Though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, come yet again come, ours is no caravan of despair." So if the world appears to be a bleak place, if you're struggling with your own transformation, if you're lost, wandering through the chaos and confusion that can sometimes overwhelm our lives, come, come, we sing to you with exuberance. Leave what's not working behind. Let go of what's no longer serving you. We do not care if you've broken your vows 1,000 times. This caravan of our beloved community welcomes you with open arms to our liberal religious path of love. The holy month of Ramazan, the queen of months in the Islamic tradition, when it is said that the gates of paradise are flung wide open and all of the devils are chained, has arrived. Now, if you've been around here for a while, you know this is one of my favorite times of the year as a UU Muslim and Sufi dervish of the Chishti path. May the Chishti lamp burn brightly. Like many followers of this way, this is my annual period of spiritual deepening, often through rigorous practices like fasting, maintaining the daily prayers, and giving generously to community and to the poor. For one lunar cycle, from the first sighting of the crescent moon through the full and new moon until the next sighting of the crescent, Muslims all over the world work to utilize these ancient spiritual disciplines to cultivate taqwa, or divine conscience. Each of these spiritual disciplines can help anyone to move inward with greater intention to what truly matters in life. In addition to fasting, prayer, and charity, another spiritual exercise of immense value in this time is reading the entirety of the Holy Quran from the beginning to the end in this one lunar cycle. Now, some years I make it all the way through in the 30 days of the lunar month, and others it takes me a bit longer. The Quran's broken down into what are called 30 juz, or parts, so that one can engage with this practice each year. It's similar to how Jews and Christians move through the entirety of those sacred texts over the course of a year. Now, I'm deviating from Orthodox practice a bit this year and instead reading the heart of the Quran by the preeminent Western Sheikh Nur al-Anwar al-Jarari. This text moves through the Quran, providing beautiful Sufi interpretations of the original text that illuminate its deeper meaning and often express something of its mystical sentiments. I want to invite you into some of this journey with me this month to share something of my journey as a UU Muslim with you all. Contemplate life as fresh rain showered abundantly on receptive ground from the ever-present source who is like the vast sky, offers Sheikh Nur al-Anwar as he exegetes the text or draws forth its deeper essence. Contemplate life as fresh rain showered abundantly on receptive ground from the ever-present source who is like the vast sky. The pure rainwater mingling with the earth, causes the boundless variety of seeds to sprout and flourish, providing ample nourishment for all creatures. For those who meditate deeply, this parable from the source of wisdom presents a clear teaching to rely upon the source of all life, he interprets. Now, verses such as these in their original Arabic are the heart of Islam because they're believed not to convey the voice of the Prophet Muhammad, may he and his family and all of his relations dwell in deepest serenity, or the angel Jibriel, or as we may know, Gabriel, may they be surrounded with peace, but instead are understood to be the actual words of the divine self conveyed to humanity. The Sheikh reflects, the Quran is the mysterious voice of Allah, not a book of sacred theology or history. So to hear the voice of God in this tradition, one simply needs to read or listen to the Quran in its original language. Simply hearing the verses can induce a form of trance and deepen this experience of taqwa, of divine consciousness for Muslims. Those who live in authentic awe of Allah will dwell always in the One's mysterious embrace, envisioned as boundless gardens of love beside eternal rivers of peace. I love this verse. Envisioned as boundless gardens of love beside eternal rivers of peace. A central theme that reoccurs throughout the Quran and is expressed in verses such as these is the power of mindfulness of life and gratitude for its many blessings. Now, I know we explored mindfulness quite a bit in our service dedicated to the great Buddhist peace warrior Thich Nhat Hanh, may he rest in power, a few weeks back. And I think we typically think of mindful awareness as being a Buddhist Dharma teaching. But one of my discoveries reading the Quran each Ramazan is how central this concept is to the Quran itself as well. My beloved Muhammad, please teach humanity to observe whatever lives in this planetary realm, that it spontaneously celebrates the source of life. The birds, simply by spreading their wings for flight, are praising Allah Most High, who knows the instinctive prayer and praise expressed through the most minute action of every being. We encounter elsewhere in the text this image of birds spreading their wings as a form of prayer and a form of praise to the source of life itself. It's really quite beautiful. The Quran teaches one to cherish all of existence and as one harmonious whole and one all-inclusive unity, what we Unitarian Universalists call the interdependent web of all existence and Unitarianism. And it reminds humanity to live in a good and just way with all of humanity and all of existence, remembering this deep interconnectedness and our shared origin and final end. One need not even believe in any traditional sense of a deity to appreciate many of the self-evident truths that the verses highlight. Many of them are like mindfulness prayers in themselves that ask us to return to remembering everything that's present to us, as they also highlight what is of ultimate importance. So come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Our liberal tradition, like that of our Sufi siblings, acknowledges a deep appreciation for the blessings of life and the unity of all of being, and aspires to walk faithfully on this radical path of love. Our tradition, like that of our Sufi siblings and others, also offers an alternative to the dominant and orthodox religions that so often close people to the wonders of this life and the truly expansive and liberating powers of love. Now, as I examine the state of the world in which we are living, it is clear that we are in need of a vibrant liberal religious movement now more than ever. Our early congregational churches were the incubators for American democracy because they believed that human beings had the capacity to discern the good and to act in concert to effectuate it. This legacy is threatened now, more than ever, by politicians and pundits and corporations and extreme right-wing ideologues that prey upon people's fears and worst instincts to make themselves richer and usually more powerful. It's not just here, but all over the world that we're seeing authoritarianism and fascism advancing and threatening life on this planet as we know it. Wars and rumors of wars are dominating the headlines, emboldened by wayward conservative religious ideologies and those who have been corrupted by such worldviews. The rights of women are under attack once again in our country, and we will likely witness our very own Supreme Court dismantle the rights that our religious ancestors fought valiantly to win. State legislatures in this nation are in a frenzy to enact hate-filled, anti-trans, and anti-queer legislation that harms children, families, and our society. White supremacy is emboldened like never before, and BIPOC communities are continually under attack. The waters are rising, the fires are burning, as our beautiful planet home is being transformed by corporate greed into an actual hell. We need liberal religious movements to act quickly, to denounce these threats and offer a better way grounded in our liberal religious wisdom and tradition. Here in this congregation, in this beloved community, in this historic sanctuary, through our online community, and in the homes of our members and friends, you will find the people who are committed to their living mindfully and compassionately and confronting that which threatens our world, offering refuge to those in harm's way, and working on their own self-transformation to prepare for the work that justice and love is calling us to in our day. We are one pinpoint of light in a constellation of congregations and other liberal religious communities that have been working to accomplish what our ancestors had called bringing the reign of heaven to earth. Now, I remember before I entered the ministry, I wanted to understand how humanity might live with greater justice and joy and love and purpose. So I studied psychology and sociology and social welfare. But ultimately, I came to the conclusion that what I wanted to do in the world wasn't something new, but it was something that had been the work of liberal religion since the beginning. I knew that if I wanted my small contribution to make a difference in the world, to help alleviate maybe something of the suffering in life and cultivate more of something of the joy of life, there was no better way to do that than participating in the life of a liberal religious community. When I discovered Unitarian Universalism, I knew that I had found home, and I had reunited with my fellow travelers in that caravan that had resisted despair and instead offered hope and refuge and spirit and possibility and compassion to our sometimes painful lives and our badly hurting world. Now, Stewardship Sunday falls in the midst of the holy month of Ramadan this year. Fasting, prayer, study of the Quran, and giving to support religious community and the poor are the principal spiritual exercises of this month in this tradition. It's believed that each helps to cultivate that sacred awareness, taqwa, and all are encouraged to give of their material lives, to purify one's being of its excesses and to help one to live simply and humbly and in harmony with all of life. Now, our Stewardship Sunday is the kickoff for our annual pledge drive, which reminds us also of the commitments to living in the liberal religious community. We are a congregational church in our polity, which means that we sustain ourselves through our generous giving of time, talent, and our material resources. Each year, we have to raise the funds from our many members and friends to remain vital and accomplish our piece of that liberal religious mission in the world. Now, you have all given generously, not only to our annual stewardship campaign, but also many have given to our special sustainability funds and have donated stimulus checks and matched our generous grants from the Spirit Level Foundation to create our online sanctuary during the pandemic. And I want to commend this extraordinary generosity and thank you for helping us to thrive in the midst of the pandemic as we continue on this journey towards greater wholeness. Now, we enter this year's stewardship campaign in a spirit of gratitude and with this momentum of this extraordinary giving. It's clear that the world needs vibrant liberal religious communities and movements, and it's clear that this congregation has an almost century-long track record of being a trailblazer in that regard. Now, your generosity this year will help us to continue to fulfill our mission as we address new challenges and live into our vision for our congregation and our world. If you're already a pledging member, you should have received a pledge card in the mail, or it will be arriving in the next few days. We have a stewardship table set up outside as well for anyone who is new to our community and may have questions, or if you'd like to make your financial commitment today. If you want to make your pledge online, you can visit our website at uusm.org/2022 pledge drive. That's all one word. That's for our folks online, uusm.org/2022 pledge drive. I'm told that we have some special treats as well at our stewardship table if you're able to complete your pledge today. We are, of course, asking everyone to give as generously as you can. And if you're already pledging, to increase your pledge so that we can keep pace with the extraordinary inflation, rising costs of living, and new and critical expenses of our community, like maintaining our online sanctuary and ministry. Our future and the future of our larger community depends in many ways on all of our generous support. So come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. May it be so. Amen, and blessed be.
Well, I mean, that was actually one of the easier things to follow for this particular part of my job, the offertory. It's always kind of difficult, the offertory, but I mean, he just set it up for you. Basically, just give us some money, we'll send it some good places. But let me do the thing. So we come together for more than ourselves. Our practice here at UUSM is to dedicate half of our non-pledged Sunday offerings to organizations doing work in the world that advances our Unitarian Universalist principles. The other 50% of our offering is used to support the life of our church. UUSM's Generous Congregation program supports our church community, and together we lift up and reach out and impact vital organizations doing work that we could not do on our own. This month, half of our Sunday offerings will go to Planned Parenthood of America, Incorporated. Your donations will help Planned Parenthood continue to work delivering vital reproductive health care, sex education, information to millions of people worldwide. Please consider supporting the mission of our church and Planned Parenthood. There are many ways to give. You will notice we actually have ushers that are going to be bringing around bags once again. That's awesome. Uncomfortable, but awesome. Yeah, just drop some money in there. You can donate through our uusm.org site by clicking on the Make a Donation, scanning the QR code that you see on the screen with your smartphone. You can text 844-982-0209 on your smartphone with the amount followed by the GCC for generous congregation contribution, PLG for your pledge, or IDC. I want to say that it means I don't care, but I don't think that's what it means. For other non-pledge donations. You can still make out a check to the church, but you should know that our bank has told us that they really want you to write out the whole thing. So practice your Unitarian Universalist Community Church of Santa Monica on your to line. And we will gladly accept checks as well. As Jeremiah so eloquently pointed out, this is needed. Thank you for your generous contributions.
So our offertory anthem this morning is called Adinu. It is based on a Sufi melody. And my iPad locked. But the translation of the refrain is, I follow the religion of love wherever love is found, for love is my religion and my faith. So we're singing it all together once and then twice as a round. And if you're planning to enter with us on the round, we're entering on the circle 3, if you're looking at your hymn.
May you go in peace. May you hold fast to that which is good. May you return to no person evil for evil, but strengthen the faint of heart, support the weak, help the afflicted, honor all beings. May you go and be blessed, and may you be a blessing. Amen. You're invited to join us outside following the postlude.